Hello everyone, welcome to Kimberly Cooks. Well, this is my third attempt at recording this video. For some reason my phone is not cooperating today. We're going to try to get through this though. So I have already sliced up 6 russet potatoes, peeled them and sliced them. Make sure you wash them too. Make sure you cut them up in uniform size and put them in the pan, cover them most of the way with water, and you want the little tips of the potatoes kind of sticking out still. Put a teaspoon or 2 of salt in there. Potatoes need salt. Trust me, it won't be too salty. Make sure you don't overcook the potatoes. Keep an eye on them. You want them still to have some firmness to them, so they'll maintain some of their shape. The other thing I did was I cut up half of a large onion, diced up, pretty small as you can tell. And then about 2 ribs of celery. Now, this celery is not required. It does change the flavor profile a bit, but if you have somebody that doesn't like celery, don't put it in there. It's okay. It'll still be good. My grandmother used to make this potato salad, and she called it mustard potato salad, right? And so one day I was watching her making it, and I noticed she put mayonnaise in there. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, Gigi. You said this was mustard potato salad, but you're putting mayonnaise in this potato salad. She goes, oh yeah. She goes, it requires a little bit just to cut the bite of the mustard. And so mine has a little bit more mayonnaise than she put in hers. I did tweak her recipe, although I still make her recipe a lot, and it's fantastic. This is my take on it, and I hope you like it. If you try it, I think you will. But anyway, back to my dad. My dad, he worked really hard in his life. We all have some kind of affliction in our life. It's health, it's addiction, it's something. We're trying to get over, get past, quit doing caffeine, chocolate, fried food, whatever it is. There's something in our life that we want to change, right? Well, my dad is a perfect example of somebody who, struggled with addiction for many, many years. And one day, he finally decided that he was going to change his life. And I'm here to tell you that if he can do it, you can do it. And if you know anybody who's struggling with addiction, be kind to them. They do make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And sometimes people with addiction, they make some pretty rough mistakes that affect their lives. But here's what I got to say is, love them anyway. And keep hoping and helping motivate them to move in the right direction. My dad did this all by himself, and I'm so proud of him. Years and years ago, he's been sober and for about 24 years now, and trust me, it wasn't easy, and I'm sure that he still struggles sometimes with that, but I'm proud of him for turning his life around. And again, if he can do it, you can do it. And just my biggest message is don't give up, and don't give up on those that struggle with addiction. That's a tough road, and just love them anyway. So back to our potato salad. My brother, when we were growing up, he would not eat celery. He would not have anything to do with anything celery. So my grandmother did not put it in the potato salad. Another fun fact about my brother is he was quite the baseball player growing up. And he got scholarships. He got drafted right out of high school to go play professional ball. I think he's glad that he went to college instead, because he got to do some pretty cool things, and he got that degree that has helped him in life. And he did end up getting injured and tore out his shoulder. They didn't have the technology they have now back then to fix those shoulders. So that ended his career, unfortunately. It was always so fun to watch him go play. The team we had in high school that he was on, that was probably one of the best baseball teams that school's ever had in the history of that school. And those boys, several of them got scholarships to play ball. I think there was a couple of them that went on to play professional ball too. Just a fantastic team. They were just unbelievable. A bunch of talent there. They had a good coach too. And anyway, so Bubba, I'm putting celery in this one, sorry. But he's probably would be laughing. I don't know if he eats celery now or not. Should probably ask him that when he comes over to eat on them. But anyhow, this is a half a cup of mayonnaise. It's Miracle Whip. We're gonna put that in later in a minute here. The other thing you need is some sugar. And don't hate on me for that, but we do put a little sugar in our potato salad. It does help cut the bite of the mustard and the dill relish and things like that that we put in this. It balances out very well, you know. You can try it without sugar. My grandmother even put sugar in hers, but she wouldn't tell anybody. They wouldn't have believed it, or they might not have eaten it. Who knows? But anyhow, so I want to brag on something else. Look at these veggies we got out of our garden today. The big, beautiful banana peppers, green peppers. Look at these jalapenos. Oh, yummy, yummy. We got some good tomatoes the other day too. Some of the peppers didn't get as big. This one is red, but oh man, so proud of our garden this year. We grew potatoes too, and okra, tomatoes, onions, all kinds of things. We've had a decent year. I grew tomatoes in pots this year. I will never do that again. In the heat of the summer here, those pots dry out so fast that I would have had to water them 2 or 3 times a day every day to keep them fully watered all the time. And I did my best, but you know, those times where we were gone for a few days or wasn't feeling well or whatever, yeah, that didn't go well. So I'm not going to grow potatoes or tomatoes in pots ever again, because that was we had some decent tomatoes. Our cherry tomatoes did well. We got some other tomatoes, but for the most part, they don't like pots. They like lots more space, I think. I'm gonna go check on our potatoes over here. I use a fork to check the potatoes to see how tender they are. And let's see here. Not quite. Not quite. Now our eggs are done. We've got our little eggs here. So a lot of people boil their eggs a different way, but I will generally put a bunch of ice, and I will drain the water and just fill up the pot with ice, and or the pan, whatever you want to call it, and just let it sit for a few minutes. And it makes them easier to peel. So here we go. Sorry about the noise. There we go. Okay. So I will let those sit. See, this is what I do. And I'll let those sit over here for a few minutes till we're ready for them. Okay, meanwhile, let's put the rest of our ingredients in for our potato salad. All right, so we're gonna put 2 to 3 tablespoons, heaping tablespoons of sweet relish. This is what I use right here, sweet relish. And sometimes I buy there's a little brand here that I like, but this one is good too. Oh, and there is the alarm for the potatoes. I usually set an alarm so I don't forget to check on them. Let me turn that off. There we go. So I'll go check them one more time. Okay, we'll turn those off, and I will get the strainer out. And we will strain those bad boys here in a minute. All right, so we got, I usually put 3 heaping tablespoons of that sweet relish in there. And then I put dill relish, about a tablespoon. This is Walmart brand, I think. But sometimes I buy the name brand if it's on sale. So that being said, we got that in there. Then we're gonna put our ½ cup of mayo. So I've already got that kind of measured. You know, I'm not really exact. I'm just trying to be exact for you guys. I just eyeball it most of the time. The good old Southern cooking there. My grandmother, her measurements were always a smidge, a dash, a pinch, you know, something. It was never she rarely ever got a measuring spoon or measuring cup out. And unless she was baking something, you know, she made a couple of cakes that were just fantabulous. But sometimes I would see her use a measuring cup with that. But even then, she never really got real particular about most of the measurements. She made biscuits, homemade biscuits all the time. And I didn't, not one time did I ever see her measure anything for those biscuits. And I tried to learn the recipe. She called them choke biscuits because they were pretty wet, and she would roll them out, and then instead of slicing them or cutting them with a cutter, she choked off a piece of the biscuit in her hand about the right size, and then she would put it in the pan. So yeah. She called them choking biscuits. Okay, so I usually put about 3 tablespoons. Sometimes I go back and add more. It just kind of depends on how it tastes. I do taste this to see what the flavor profile tastes like. You don't want too much of any one ingredient overpowering this recipe. And then, of course, our sugar. Don't come at me for that one, okay? It's okay. It's gonna be okay, I promise. Just mix it in there and don't think about it. Just stir it in there. Okay, see, it's gone. We don't know anything about it now. Okay, just forget it ever happened. Okay, all right. So now that that's all kind of mixed in there, we're gonna mix it again, but anyway. All right, paprika. This is smoked paprika. Be careful with this because the smokiness can overpower your, I usually use regular paprika, but I'm out. So use it sparingly. This is cayenne pepper. And I put a couple of shakes of that in there. Gives it a little twang. And I'm gonna put a little bit more salt in here. Again, that's probably less than half a teaspoon. And then I put some pepper in there. I just use this, I've got a measuring spoon out here. I don't put a lot of pepper in there. You don't want your potato salad to be overwhelmed by pepper. And those are kind of our wet ingredients. I'm gonna use this, my little handy dandy, I think this is from Pampered Chef, yeah, spatula here. Real high-tech stuff I've got going on in this house. All right, so I usually mix this while the potatoes and stuff are boiling so it can kind of start, the flavors can start marrying and coming together. And potato salad is one of those like spaghetti and all that. It generally tastes better the second day. I don't know what that is, but the flavors have a time to set up and come together and really shine. But it's still good the first day. We're having it the first day. My husband won't wait 2 days to eat potato salad, but he'll sneak in here when I'm not looking and have some. So we don't have any kids at home to blame, so he doesn't even try to say he didn't do it. It's kind of funny. That's okay though. Somebody's got to make sure it's edible, right? So that's the way I look at it. So let's get the taters all drained. Let me get a couple of spatulas here. I mean, hot pads. These are hot pads. Grab these handles on this pan. I'm gonna drain these taters. Woohoo! There we go. Alrighty then. I'm gonna let those sit for a minute and cool off and drain. Okay. Let me get some of this out of the way. So, you know, that onion didn't bother me when I was chopping it up. Some people say if you keep a glass of water, so I have like a glass of water here that I'm drinking sitting next to my cutting station and or a prep station, whatever you want to call it, and onion didn't bother me a bit. Sometimes though, they really get to me. They're very, very pungent. So anyways, here's one of my little tomatoes that we got out of the garden. Little tomato, little tomato. Yep. So I will be right back. We're gonna let these potatoes cool off, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, folks, we're back. I peeled my eggs. These peeled very well. I know there's like 45 different ways you can boil eggs. Some people put salt, some people put baking soda, some people do other things. And anyway, I still use the same old method I've always used with boiling them in just plain old water and draining the pan and then filling it up with ice and letting it sit, 10, 15 minutes maybe. And then peel them. If their eggs are pretty fresh, they'll peel real easily. The older they get, the harder they are to peel. But okay, my little cutting trick. This is what we call a cutting, well, it's, we use it for biscuits to mix butter with flour and that kind of thing. It's basically a pastry cutter, something like that. I don't know the real term for it, but anyway, it's from Pampered Chef too, I think. But I use it to cut my eggs up because it makes it, it gets the egg yolks in there really well. It kind of separates them and cuts up your egg whites. Again, if I was making this for other people, I would be wearing gloves probably, just, for sanitary reasons. But it's just me and my husband. We share germs. So there you go. And I washed our let me rinse this one more time, but I washed our tool here. Remember that little tool I was telling you about that I didn't think I would use? Well, here we are using it. And man, does it work fantastic for this. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Anyway, put 3 or 4 eggs in there. I start with 3, and if I feel like it could use another one, I put one in there. If not, my husband and I get to enjoy a boiled egg for a snack. Put some salt on it, that kind of thing. My grandpa sometimes will put mustard on his boiled eggs. I don't know where that my great grandmother was she's from Czechoslovakia, back before it was Czech Republic, and they had different ways of cooking and stuff, and he grew up eating that kind of food, and it is so good. We had a cookbook with a bunch of her recipes in it. I can't find it. I'm very sad because the recipes were all in Czech, but we wanted to have them translated and put them in a cookbook, right? And they have a Czech festival here that is really cool. One of my cousins wanted to translate the recipes as well and put them in a cookbook, and we just can't find them anywhere. It's really sad. But anyway, missing out. A lot of the food that they made was so good. She made this breakfast bread, I called it. She used to call it, I want to say it was poteca. Anyway, it was basically like a cinnamon roll. You roll it out into a triangle, and then you make this filling with pecans and orange flavorings and different things. And then you spread it on the out on the dough like it, you do cinnamon roll, and you roll it up, and you can slice it and bake it like cinnamon rolls. But she always baked it like in a loaf, all together. She would seal up the edges. My goodness, it was so good. It was so good. She also made sauerkraut and dumplings. That was just unbelievably good. It doesn't taste, the sauerkraut that they made over there, it doesn't taste anything like what you get in a can. It really doesn't. It's a lot more mellow, and it just has such a good flavor. Sauerkraut's one of those things, I think, if you either like it or you hate it. It's more, I don't know if there's an in-between there. So we got our eggs in. Now, we are going to put our potatoes in there. They've cooled off a little bit. They're still hot, as you can tell, but they're not steaming, boiling hot like they were. So now we're just gonna, and I know my spatula is not really big enough for this job, but hey, I don't want to dirty another dish. So, although my husband helps with the dishes. I don't know if your partners and your spouses help around the house, but mine is fantastic. He is such a good partner. He helps with just about everything. Just about everything. And he does stuff. I know he'll just come in and do the dishes after I get done cooking. Sometimes he'll cook. It's not like he's helping me. He's being a partner with me. It's not that I'm expected to do all those things. He knows that it's a partnership, and he's so good at it. Just gotta brag on him. He's Mr. Everything for a reason. Just saying. So, okay, there's our potato salad. Now, I'm going to take, let's just use this spoon. I'm gonna take this spoon and I'm gonna try a little bit of it. Folks, I would not change that a bit. You can taste the smokiness of the paprika that we put in there. Oh my goodness, it just gives it such a good flavor. Such a good flavor. Everybody loves my potato salad, by the way. Most everybody. I'm sure there's somebody that doesn't like it, but I usually get a lot of compliments. So now you have the recipe and the secrets to make it. I hope you go out and try this. I want to thank you for joining me this evening. I'm gonna go warm up some meatloaf, and we're gonna have some meatloaf and potato salad and enjoy our dinner. And I hope you had a wonderful evening, and everybody take care, and we'll see you next time. I haven't really decided what our next video is gonna be yet. I'm thinking on it. Thinking about starting a series. So, thoughts. Maybe we'll do something with bell peppers. I have all these bell peppers. Maybe we'll make some stuffed bell peppers, or possibly some peppers and onions with sausages or something. Anyway, if you have any recommendations, put it in the comments. You guys take care. Have a good evening. Talk to you soon.